So, we climbed this mountain. Here's the story. The date is March 12th. I was just relaxing, enjoying my first few days of my 2-week break, and Fedi, my best friend of 7 years, sent me the following text. We had just heard about this local camping group and thought the whole thing might be fun to do. But we didn't have any idea nor experience in regards to camping. So after a bit of digging around on their Facebook page, we thought of hiking, since it doesn't seem to require all that much prep or know-how. Spoiler alert, we were wrong. Basically, we had no idea what hiking routes were, and we hugely underestimated the time and effort that it would take. And this played a big role in how things turned out. Anyways, hiking was the perfect response for the young guys we were, trying new things and all. Also, admittedly, it was on the cheaper side among the other alternatives, since we brought our own food and only had to pay for gas really. So we started pitching ideas and looking for places, and then Fedi suggested jbal errsas. Now I had never heard of this before, so I looked it up. Case in point, I thought we could go and at least check out this place, since the pictures online looked phenomenal. So we looked at the directions to it through Google Maps, and then we were set. This was only an hour drive away. Now we started pitching ideas to our friends. Due to some being busy and some blah blah, we ended up just the four of us. Me, Fedi, Lies, and Hedi. So, now we had settled on a date and place to meet, since we didn't live that close to one another. We may have stopped at a game room nearby and played a few games of billiards, but that's besides the point. Once we got on the freeway, we obviously started jamming to the music, but following the directions on the app, the roads started to get more and more vacant, until there were no cars in sight, no sign of life. There's just a series of agricultural lands. We eventually found ourselves in a desolate town that looked eerily empty. We later found out it was called Fandreya. We were of course trying to make jokes to lighten the air, but we were all one stream away from pissing ourselves. To further illustrate how vacant it was, we only saw about 3 people around during our first passage. But then again, it was 10 AM on a Monday. So, we kept following directions until the app started showing roads that weren't actually there. Which didn't help with the creepy atmosphere, to be fair. But luckily, at that point, we were already very close to our destination. So the ascent was probably the most memorable part, because probably it was, it took the most time. And we were taking frequent breaks. At first, the hill wasn't too steep. We were tracking our progress by the altitude, so we were feeling like we were making zero progress, and we took breaks every 20 to 15 minutes so that we don't get tired out or gassed out. As we went on, we got to the point where we were climbing with both our hands and legs, and that was more dangerous, but also more rewarding, because every step you took, there was good progress being made, about a meter or so of height gained. And we actually had to pick our routes, and because some other people followed some routes and they didn't lead anywhere, so we didn't want to ask anyone. We just wanted to wing it, and wing it we did. And I should probably also mention that we didn't study any of the routes or prepare any of the routes beforehand. We just saw what looked what like we could walk, and we just followed it, just to follow some paths. And, although there were some red markings and arrows that we could follow, but apparently those led to dead ends. So once we got to about like 500 meters of height, we had to kind of just pick our own routes, make our own routes in a way. And yeah. It was magical. We were just 4 kids doing this crazy and dangerous thing that we didn't even realize how dangerous it is. Climbing up, we'd only look down to see the view, to appreciate the view, and we were always going up. We were always thinking, what's the next path to take? Is this likely to lead us anywhere? Is it not? And it was so great when we saw people and we chatted about it, and there was no anxiety or anything. It was so natural. It was so genuine, the connection with the people there. It was amazing. And the final part of the ascent was probably the most dangerous. One of our friends had a muscle cramp, and at that point I was a bit concerned, and we were considering maybe we should go back, maybe we should start climbing down, because we didn't want to do anything we would regret. And yeah, but we pushed on. We asked him, we checked him, and I had to play the doctor. And I'm in my first year of fucking medical school. Yeah, luckily we have like dabbled in the subject in class, but yeah. Other than that, like reaching the peak, seeing there was nothing. You were the highest point. Man, that feeling. I was ecstatic. And I remember the moment. I was careful, of course, but I started like rushing, and I was swinging my feet left and right, and I was with my hands pushing away trees. and I remember I said to my friend, I said, I have a penis for your vagina hole, because we were saying that the whole way up for some reason. And just, you look up, the only thing up there is the sky, the only thing is the clouds. At this point there was not even a single bird. Like, the whole way up, we were saying that it was absolute silence, except for the birds. But here was actually absolute silence, and you could see so far out. It was crazy. We were just there. We were just taking it in.
Sheesh, son! Sheesh!
And I remember
Grandpa
he
Sheesh.
said, "How many people do you think made it this far?" And I don't know if that even matters, but man, just looking away into the horizon, I've simply never felt anything like it. And yeah, that was a moment to remember. We actually didn't spend that much time at the top, because after about 5 minutes of being there, we heard a big bang. Since it was cloudy that day, we thought maybe it was thunder, and so like shit got real. Like, we had to turn off our phones so that, yeah, for safety measures, and yeah, we had to go down as fast as possible. But then it actually turned out that it wasn't thunder. that was that was people blowing dynamite because it was a mining place or a mountain or whatever, and just what the fuck. Yeah, like people could have died. Like we heard that bang in our chests. Like, dude, I'm still shook by that. That still genuinely haunts me. Things could have collapsed. Like, we were standing there and we felt that rocks could have fallen, and other people told us that big rocks had fallen and they just dodged them. And luckily, just no one was hurt that day, but man, they should be more careful. But yeah, we just got down. We had an encounter with a bunch of guys that were camping. They were pretty chill guys, really. We had fun talking to those guys. We didn't really have footage because at that time we were freaking out. Like, we had our phones off and we were scared to turn them back on. Because, you know, altitude and it's a risk anyways. So yeah. And then close to the bottom, we crossed paths with I don't know what you would call them, like a tour, and there was a guide there, and yeah, that was also pretty, I don't want to say relaxing, but yeah, it was good seeing other people, and yeah. On a final note, I just want to say that day, like March the 14th, was probably by far the best and the most eventful day of my life so far, obviously. But yeah, I'm just so glad I get to do these amazing things in the company of these amazing people. I'm not taking any of it for granted. I'm just so grateful for having them, and yeah, just what a fucking ragtag group of people, huh?
I have a penis for your vagina.